Selling to the unconvinced. In business and creation, we often fail not because the product is bad, but because we are trying to sell a solution to people who don't believe they have a problem. We waste resources and energy trying to convince healthy people that they need our medicine. The classic saying, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick," is an excellent lesson in market need assessment. It teaches us that your help, service, or product is only valuable when applied to those who recognize their own needs. Awareness of illness. When Jesus was eating with tax collectors and sinners, the Pharisees, those who considered themselves morally perfect, condemned him. They viewed his association with the outcasts as inappropriate. Jesus' response was a strategic answer. It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. The healthy represent the complacent customer, those who see no value in your solution because they don't admit their deficiency or problem. They are the ones rejecting help. The sick represent the ideal customer, those who are suffering from a problem and are actively seeking a solution. They are the ones willing to pay the price for healing. He did not try to cure the self-righteous Pharisees. He focused his resources on those who had clear awareness of their problem. The lesson is, problem awareness is the first door to a solution. Focusing on the potential customer. In business, this is the core principle of effective marketing and sales. Market need assessment. Don't waste resources trying to create demand in a cold market. Instead, find a market where people are already feeling the pain and immediately seeking a solution. The greater the pain, the higher the willingness to buy. Targeting potential customers. Your goal is not to convince the healthy, but to serve the sick with empathy and effective solutions. Position your product as the necessary medicine, not an optional luxury. The message is, stop trying to save those who don't want to be saved. Focus your energy where you can create the greatest value. Application in product development and time management. How can you apply this mindset to optimize your efforts? In product development, instead of adding complex features to impress the healthy, those without a problem, focus on solving the core problem that your sick customers are facing. The best product is the one that cures the biggest pain. Time and energy management. In your personal life, apply this principle to relationships. If you are spending 80% of your time trying to help someone who doesn't want to change, the self-righteous healthy person, you are wasting time that could be spent on those actively seeking support. Focus on those who are open and ready to act. Effective selling. The best salesperson is not the one who talks the most. It's the one who listens to the customer's pain and proves their product can heal that pain. The Tower Builder. Strategic planning and cost calculation. The lure of starting. We love the excitement of starting. New ideas, abundant energy, grand visions. But enthusiasm is not a strategy. In the world of business, technology, or personal development, nothing is more costly than abandoning a project halfway. Today's story, The Parable of the Tower Builder, is an unforgiving reminder about project management and budgeting. It teaches us the core lesson: always calculate the cost before committing resources, to avoid the shame and waste of predictable failure. Cost calculation and consequences. The parable asks, for which of you, intending to build a tower, does not first sit down and estimate the cost, to see whether he has enough to complete it? The wise man sits down and calculates. Analysis of the action. The act of sitting down is symbolic of strategic planning and proactivity. It is the transition from desire to reality. Analysis of the consequence. If he starts without enough money, the construction is abandoned. The result is not only the project's failure but also the public judgment from passers-by. This man began to build and was not able to finish. The lesson here is, the worst failure is not failing to start, but starting too big without a clear plan to finish. Public shame is the price paid for poor resource management. Strategic planning and ROI. Your first job is not to buy materials or write code. It is to define the scope and calculate the budget for 100% completion. If you only have enough money for 50% of the project, you must scale down, not start and hope for luck. Cost here is not just money. It is time, energy, and social capital. Calculating ROI is asking, is the value I receive worth everything I must give up to complete it? If not, the project isn't worth pursuing. Feasibility must always precede desirability. The wise leader knows when to say no to a grand idea if the resources cannot meet the demand. Application in business and personal development. How do you apply the principle of the tower builder in daily life? In startups, don't create an over-featured product that you can't afford to maintain and market. Build an MVP, minimum viable product, a smaller tower, but one that can be completed. This protects your reputation and capital. Personal development goals. If your goal is to learn a new language, what is the cost? How many hours of study, how many courses, and how many years of commitment? If you only have 1 hour per week, don't aim for fluency in 6 months. Be honest about the true cost. The discipline of calculation. Before committing to a side project, a new hobby, or a loan, apply the sit-down process. List all necessary resources, money, time, sacrifices, and compare them with your existing resources. If the gap is too large, scale down your tower. Defining core purpose. The trap of too many choices. In the modern world, we are inundated with countless opportunities. We try to pursue every business idea, every self-development course, every hobby. But the diffusion of resources is a sure path to mediocrity. Today's story, through the parallel parables of the hidden treasure and the pearl of great price, teaches us the core lesson. True value demands absolute focus. Success is not about doing many things, but about defining your core purpose and being willing to pay the opportunity cost to pursue it. Decisive action and value assessment. Both parables tell of the same crucial action, but from two different perspectives. The treasure in the field, accidental discovery. A man accidentally finds a buried treasure in a field. His reaction is to hide it, go and sell everything he has, and buy that field. The pearl of great price, active search. A merchant of fine pearls, who had seen hundreds of pearls, finally finds one pearl of great value. His reaction is to immediately go and sell all his possessions to buy that pearl. Joint action analysis. Both characters acted decisively. They sold everything they owned. This is not an act of recklessness, but the result of a clear value assessment. They realized that the potential value of the treasure, pearl, was greater than the current combined value of all their other assets. Core purpose and absolute priority. The core lesson is about focus and trade-offs. Defining core purpose. What is your treasure or pearl? It is the single goal that, when achieved, will make every other goal easier or unnecessary. Never confuse activity with purpose. The act of selling everything is the payment of the opportunity cost. You must give up the comfort of secondary options, small projects, and old habits to pour all your resources, money, time, focus, into the supreme goal. The principle is, greatness demands the sacrifice of other good things. You cannot keep all your possessions and still acquire the most valuable pearl. Indecision is the enemy of excellence. Application in business and personal development. How do you find and act upon your pearl of great price? In business strategy, your company must identify its core product. If you are trying to please every market segment with every feature, you are holding on to all your assets without acquiring any pearl. Focus, niche, is the decisive act of selling off secondary options. Personal development, skill focus. Your pearl might be a master skill. You must sell distracting habits, wasted time on social media, and multitasking to dedicate all your energy to mastering that one skill. No skill reaches excellence without the abandonment of other options. The commitment test. If you are unwilling to give up current projects, habits for the new goal, then it is not your pearl of great price. It's just another pretty stone. Closing. Today, what is your pearl of great price or treasure? And what are you willing to sell, habits, unfinished projects, distractions, to acquire it? Share the core purpose you will dedicate all your resources to today in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next insightful lessons. See you again soon.